Okay. So we will start Canto 5, Chapter 15, The Glories of the Descendant of King Priyavrata. We are again going back to the original story from where we will again start, because this stream is going to keep on going back to the source and coming back again and again. In the last story we had done about Bharata, and in the previous chapter we were doing a discourse between Sukdev and Parikshit. Now we are going to do the next portion of it, that is what happened to King Priyavrata's descendants. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued. The son of Maharaj Bharat, known as Sumati, followed the path of Rishabdev, but some unscrupulous people imagined him to be Lord Buddha himself. These people, who are actually atheistic and of bad character, took up the Vedic principle in an imaginary, infamous way to support their activities. Thus, these sinful people accepted Sumati as Lord Buddha Dev and propagated the theory that everyone should follow the principles of Sumati. In this way, they were carried away by mental concoctions. Buddha is supposed to be one of the avatars of Sri Krishna. It's a Vishnu avatar, by the way. Now, the Buddha avatar is an avatar full of Maya, Mayavadi avatar as we call him. In all our lessons we have done so far, we have seen that the mind is that most important thing that needs to be overcome. In Buddha's avatar, the mind is the one which travels. He is not talking of overcoming anything, but reaching a state of shunyata. Basically a state where nothing seems to exist. Where nothing exists, not God, no Krishna, no Buddha, nobody exists. That is a state. So these kind of wrong teachings, why are they calling it wrong in this book, is because these teachings were not accepted by the Hindu philosophers or by the people who taught about Sri Krishna and his other avatars. The Hinduism or the religion of Sanatana Dharma doesn't accept those kind of things. We believe that there is a God all over the place. It all happens because of faith. So this particular individual is called Sumati, who is the son of King Bharata. He follows the path of Rishabdev. But people think that Sumati is following the path of Buddha, which is of non-believing in God, that is atheism. For Sumati, a son named Devajit was born in the womb of his wife Vriddhasena. Thereafter, in the womb of Asuri, the wife of Devajit, a son named Devadyumna was begotten. Devadyumna begot in the womb of his wife Dhenumati a son named Parmeshti. Parmeshti begot a son named Pratibha in the womb of the wife Survachala. These are nothing but lineages. So how the whole lineage comes about is being mentioned over here. King Pratiha personally propagated the principle of self-realization. In this way, not only was he purified, but he became a great devotee of the Supreme Person, Lord Vishnu, and directly realized him. In the womb of wife Survachala, Pratihi begot three sons named Pratihartha, Prastota, and Udgata. These three sons were very expert in performing Vedic rituals. Pratihartha begot two sons named Aja and Bhuma in the womb of his wife named Stuti. In the womb of his wife Rishikulya, King Bhuma begot a son named Udgita. From Udgita's wife Devakulya, a son named Prastava was born, and Prastava begot a son named Vibhu through his wife Niusta. In the womb of his wife Rati, Vibhu begot a son named Prathusena. Prathusena begot a son named Nakta in the womb of his wife named Akuti. Nakta's wife was Dhruti, and from her womb the great king Gaya was born. Gaya was very famous and pious. He was best of saintly kings. Lord Vishnu and his expansion, who are meant to protect the universe, are always situated in the transcendental mode of goodness, known as Vishuddha Sattva. Being the direct expansion of Lord Vishnu, King Gaya was also situated in the Vishuddha Sattva. Because of this, Maharaj Gaya was fully equipped with transcendental knowledge. Therefore, he was called the Mahapurusha. See, these are nothing but lineage stories from whom came whom, from whom came whom. So it is just a lineage, how we have to follow. King Gaya gave full protection and security to the citizens of that personal property could not be disturbed by undesirable elements. He also saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. This is called poshan. He would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizens to satisfy them. This is called prinana. He would sometimes call meeting and satisfy the citizens with the sweet words. This is called upalana. He would give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. This is called anushana. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules. I'll come to that in the end. He performed sacrifices and was unalloyed pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is called Mahapurusha because as a king he gave the citizens all facilities. And as a householder he executed all the duties so that at the end he became a strict devotee of the Supreme Lord. As a devotee he was always ready to give respect to other devotees and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. This is the Bhakti Yoga process. Due to all the transcendental activities, King Gaya was always free from his bodily conception. He was full in Brahma realization and consequently he was always jubilant. He did not experience material lamentation. Although he was perfect from all respects, he was not proud nor was he anxious to rule the kingdom. My dear King Parikshit, those who are learned scholars in the histories of the Puranas utilize and glorify King Gaya with the following verse. The great King Gaya used to perform all kinds of Vedic rituals. He was highly intelligent and expert in studying all the Vedic literatures. He maintained the religious principles and possessed all kinds of opulences. He was a leader among gentlemen and the servant of the devotees. He was totally qualified plenary expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, who could equal him in the performance of gigantic ritualistic ceremonies? All the caste and the honest daughters of Maharaj Daksha, such as Shraddha, Maitri and Daya, whose blessings were always effective, bathed Maharaj Gaya with sanctified water. Indeed, they were very satisfied with Maharaj Gaya. The planet Earth personified came as a cow, and as though she saw her calf, she delivered milk profusely when she saw the good qualities of Maharaj Gaya. In other words, Maharaj Gaya was able to derive all benefits from the earth and thus satisfy the desires of the citizens. However, he personally had no desires. Although King Gaya had no personal desires for self-gratification, all his desires were fulfilled by the virtue of his performance of Vedic rituals. All the kings with whom Maharaj Gaya had to fight were forced to fight on religious principles. They were very satisfied with his fighting, and they would present all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, all the Brahmanas in the kingdom were very satisfied with King Gaya's munificent charities. Consequently, the Brahmanas contributed a sixth of their pious activities for King Gaya's benefit in the next life. See, I am just reading this whole thing because King Gaya's life was a very pious one and he was performing all the rituals and the rites and ceremonies and performing the yagyas that are necessary. Plus, he was a great bhakt of Krishna. So, following the principle, he was doing everything that was necessary. I don't think I have to repeat all these things because it is understood. In the time we come to some, spiritual discourse, at that time I can stop over there or I can continue. But this is going on like this. In Maharaj Gaya's sacrifice, there was a great supply of intoxicants known as soma. King Indra used to come and become intoxicated by drinking large quantities of somrasa. Also, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, that is the Yagya Purush, also came and personally accepted all the sacrifices offered unto him with pure and firm devotion in the sacrificial arena. That is, Indra was coming and well as Vishnu was coming. Every sacrifice that we do, these two personalities sometimes partake of it. That is, I drink. The thing that I say, I drink, I drank. Or when you do something in excesses And when you drink, because it's important that you need to clink glasses, you know. When you go for big parties, you need to, you know, okay, hold a glass in your hand and show the whole world you are drinking. If you are not a great drinker, or if you are a drinker, then you keep on drinking more and more and more to show the world how big you know, a pig you can be. So both the ways you can show the world. It is nothing but the ahankara, which is what Indra is all about. It's all about your ego, I, we, myself. See, even if you go to some fancy places, the people order some of the best wines or some of the best champagnes on the house. The reason is because they want to show the world that they have this great, you know, knowledge, and they are such and such great people. This is all they do. So both the people came. One comes to accept the sacrifice, that is Vishnu, whereas Indra Dev comes over there to enjoy the whole process. When the Supreme Lord is pleased with the person's activities, automatically all the demigods, human beings, animals, birds, bees, creepers, trees, grass and other living creatures, beginning with Lord Brahma, are pleased. So when the acceptance is happening from the divine of any sacrifice that is there, at that point in time, you get what is called as the benefit of all the gods and goddesses and all that. I will explain this line to you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of everyone. He is by nature fully pleased. Nonetheless, he came to the arena of Maharaj Gaya and said, I am fully pleased. Now, I will explain to you in a format where you will understand what is the meaning of the word acceptance of these offerings. Alright? Let us say, for example, now you have gone for a function or a party or something like that. Let us say you have gone for a wedding. Now in the wedding you are offered a very nice dishes to eat for your food, you know. You are called and then you are said, oh, sit down, and then you are offered a very nice meal. The nice meal is being offered to you in showing gratitude towards you coming and gracing that particular occasion. But what do people do? They go only for the purpose of eating. They have not gone to give grace to anybody. They have gone over there only for the purpose of filling their stomachs. Or they go over there and then they keep on talking all nonsense over there. They will keep on saying, oh, this one is like that and that one is like that. Oh, she has become so fat. Oh, that one has become so old. Keep on discussing about other people and criticizing everybody around. Again, when you sit for lunch, at that time also you start your criticism. Now tell me something. Do you really believe that Vishnu will come and partake of that meal? No. The reason why he will not partake is because of all the ill will that you have spewed out over there. It is all the bad things that you have said. It is not a sacrifice. It is on the contrary, you are spewing out all the venom that is there, all the acids that you hold in your stomach. No God is going to accept it. So if Vishnu himself doesn't partake of this meal, where is the question of the creation of the sattva? Sattva means the essence of the meal. The essence of the meal is never there. You see, when you eat a certain things, even when you have at home, let us say there is a very nice dish that is made. Alright? You are having it because it is very nice, so you eat it very relishing it. You are going into the deep sense of satisfaction and relishing a meal. At that point in time, the Divine Lord is very much with you, relishing it with you. He partakes of this offering. Your body accepts it. Body means the entire being from tip to toe, from top to bottom. All the gods over there, all the creatures over there, all the animals that are there. Animals, you can't say, oh, there is one buffalo going over there, oh, there is one horse going over there. Nothing like that. There are no animals inside the body. These are properties which every human being has. The properties are governed by their, what is it there? Now see, everybody, now let us take for example, a pig. The moment I say the word pig, you will have a smile on your face. You will say, oh, pig, the guy who rolls in the Or you say a horse. A horse is chapal. Chapal means he likes to run. So that which makes you go after something, run, is called the principle of horse. Alright? In the same way, scorpion, that tendency to, hit out at someone without their knowledge. We say in a scorpion bite. I cannot classify the people, those who are from the Scorpio, to be like that. No, it is nothing but a trait, basically a trait of a scorpion. Again, the trait of a bull. You know how bull-headed people can be? They don't want to listen to you. You tell them 100 times, you do this. You know that. They don't want to listen to you. So these are the bull-headed. So these are characteristics in our body, full of animals, birds. Birds, we sing nicely. Koyal. Some of them are chatterboxes, like a parrot. You know this? These are characteristics. Can you understand? I know, Brito, where your emphasis is going. Don't go in that direction. So chatterboxes. Plus there are some who tweet. They keep on tweeting. Some of them just want to irritate you. They keep on doing like this, like a kabutar. So we have all these characters in our being, Plus trees, an oak tree, standing like that, an oak tree. So all these are getting nourishments from every sacrifice that is done in the body. I just gave you a food as an example, but hearing is also a sacrifice, smelling is also a sacrifice, seeing is also a sacrifice, doing work with your hands is also a sacrifice. If you perform an action, what is the meaning of the word sacrifice? Sacrifice is, I am offering something to the Lord. With my hands, I do work. It is a sacrifice. It's an offering to something. I do work. I go and cook in the kitchen with my hands, so that everybody in the family gets food to eat. Isn't it a sacrifice? It's an offering to everybody, isn't it? So it's like that. So the Lord is very pleased with this. It has to be unconditional. There should be no conditions. You cannot tell somebody, did you like what I made? You didn't like. Next time I won't make it. We have heard these words very often. No, you are not supposed to look at the end results. You are supposed to put all your efforts into it, make it nicely and put it in front of the person. Let the person appreciate it. It comes on its own. It's supposed to be the fruit. We do not go after a fruit. We just expect to do the next job. You are supposed to do the next job, the next job, the next job. So when we eat food, when we relish food, it is taken in by the body. But let us say we are doing over excess eating. You keep on eating. You like something. You keep on eating and eating and eating, or drinking and drinking and drinking. Finally, you become talli. So that is the time Indra is at the peak, and all sorts of wrong things are going to happen. So when you eat too much, it is called excesses. It is not called a sacrifice. When somebody does excess jobs, and is completely exhausted and he says, oh, I worked so hard. Okay. Indra is very much at play. We think Indra is not at play. I'll tell you how Indra is at play. Indra is always a person who says, he's a great person who did it, I did it. Or the person who likes to crave credit. Or the person who says, they make me do all these things. Like they show in the films, you sweat like this and you keep on doing some job. That is also a form of an egotism, where you feel, that you are the person who is, what do you call that? Who is singled out. Yes, martyrs. A martyr is also the biggest egotist of all. I died for my country. Allah, I died for my country. And you become one great person and everybody praise for you. No, Martyrship is not, martyrdom is also a form of an egotism. You are not expected to become a martyr. Again, these are the things which you have to avoid. So God doesn't come over there. Vishnu doesn't partake of that kind of things. He only partakes of that which is offered with love. It is taken in moderation. Okay? So when you are listening to music and you go to the discotheque in the night, full 12 hours of dang, 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 you think that Vishnu is going to come over there? Sorry. You are going to go over there and enjoy. So there is no Vishnu over there. So it's not enjoyment, it's a thorough enjoyment. Alright? So I hope you understood these lines. So in the womb of Gayanti, Maharaj Gaya begot 3 sons named Chitraratha, Sugati and Avarodhana. In the womb of his wife Purna, Chitraratha begot a son named Samrat. Samrat's mother and father are known now. The wife of Samrat was Utkala. Oh my God, this is some other woman. And in her womb, Samrat begot a same son named Marichi. Marichi, you know, na? Marichi was a great Muni. In the womb of the wife Bindumati, Marichi begot a son named Bindu. In the womb of his wife Sarahaga, Bindu begot a son named Madhu. In the womb of his wife named Sumana, Madhu begot a son named Vyavrata. In the womb of the wife Bhoja, Vyavrata begot 2 sons named Mantu and Pramantu. In the womb of the wife Satya, Mantu begot a son named Bhuvana. And in the womb of the wife Dusana, Bhuvana begot a son named Twasta. In the womb of wife Virochana, Twasta begot a son named Viraja. The wife of Viraja was Visuchi, and in her womb Viraja begot 100 sons and 1 daughter. Of these sons, the son was named Satjit and predominant. There is a famous verse about King Viraja. Because of his high qualities and wide fame, King Viraja became the jewel of the dynasty of Pryavrata, just as Lord Vishnu, by his transcendental potency, decorates and blesses the demigods. So this brings us to the end of the 5th canto, chapter 15, the glories of the descendant of King Priyavrata. So the next chapter is a very interesting chapter. Okay, now why is this interesting chapter? Because it defies the creation. Oh, the theory of creation, as in terms of evolution and how the Big Bang and all those things happen. Okay, so it's just a few lines. Do we have time? I think we can do that, isn't it? Yeah, we can try that. Okay, so we are doing chapter 16, description of Jambu Dvipa. King Parikshit said to Sukdev Goswami, "You have already informed me the radius of Bhumandala extends as far as the sun spreads its light and heat and as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen." So that means we are talking about the horizon. Alright? So he says, now I understand that there is a sun and the moon and all the stars and stuff like that. So we can say that the earth, we can see from one particular place everything that is there. Now why is he saying? Because see, in ancient times you could travel by means of horses and various other animals, or you can go by means of a ship or a boat or something like that. So he has to say, my dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Maharaj Priyavrata. Okay, the previous line I'll just explain to you. He says, the radius of Bhumandala. Bhumandala means our universe. Our universe extends as far as the sun spreads its light. How far can the sun spread its light? That is the time. That's how far. That means imagine during that time the clarity was there that our sun. See, the sun is also our sun. These people know that this is our sun and that there are other suns also. And as far as the moon is our moon. So our sun and our moon are spreading this. So that is a thing which can be seen and heard. The extent of what the reach is. My dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Maharaj Priyavrata chariot created 7 ditches. in which the 7 oceans came into existence. It's a mythological story, remember this, okay? Created 7 oceans. In the 7 oceans came into existence. Because of the 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. They have given us a very grand description of their measurements, names and characteristics. Now I wish to know them in detail. Kindly fulfill my desire. So there are how many continents? Do you know how many continents are there? Okay. Now you go and read your geography, or maybe you can do Wikipedia. So there are 7 by the way. Okay, and there are 7 big oceans also. When the mind is fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the external feature made of the material modes of nature, the gross universal form, it is brought to the platform of pure goodness. In that transcendental position, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, who is in a subtler form, is self-effulgent and beyond the modes of nature. Oh my Lord, please describe vividly how that form which covers the entire universe is perceived. So we are going to discuss about the creation and how the Divine Lord is presiding over this entire universe. The great Rishi, Sukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. This material world is a transformation of the material qualities, Sattva, Raja and Tamaguna. Yet one could possibly explain it perfectly. Even in the lifetime as long as that of Brahma, no one in the material world is perfect, and an imperfect person could not describe the material universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions such as Bhugoloka, with their names, forms, measurements and various symptoms. Now, what is he trying to say? A normal human being, those who have come from the lineage of Brahmaji, Brahmaji is the creator. He has created this entire universe. Anything which has got created is imperfect in nature. Perfection is only that which can understand even Brahmaji. Even Brahma's birth can be understood by that person. It's like today in the morning I was saying that if you are in a particular place, let us say you are in London, and you keep on describing Westminster Abbey and this and that and so many other places. I have never been to London, so I will say yeah. I'll keep on listening to you. Do you think I can then explain to somebody else? Can I explain where is Westminster Abbey, where is this, where is the King of England staying or Queen staying, and where is the river, and where is... I don't even know where Big Ben is. No, I don't have any idea. I can just look at a map and say, oh, here there is Big Ben. It's written over there, so I can read it. But otherwise I wouldn't know. It is only the one who has gone to London and knows London better will be able to tell us correctly. Correct? And that is the reason why nobody as of now can tell us how this earth came into being, or how this universe came into being, or what it is. But who can tell you? The one who has created can tell you, can he not? Only the one who has created is better qualified to tell you exactly how this whole thing is. And the representatives of his, that means those who have gone over there, seen him and come back, they are the ones who are qualified to tell you the exact answers. So that is the reason why Sukadeva Goswami is saying that I will tell you the answer, because he is a realized being. The planetary system known as the Bhumandala, that is the earth, resembles a lotus flower, and its 7 islands resembles the whole of the lotus. The length and the breadth of the island known as Jambudvipa, which is situated in the middle of the whole, are 1 million yojanas, that is 8 million miles. Jambudvipa is round like a leaf of a lotus flower. In Jambudvipa, there are 9 divisions of land, each with a length of 9,000 yojanas, that is 72,000 miles. There are 8 mountains that mark the boundaries of these divisions and separate them nicely. Amidst these divisions, or varshas, is the varsha named Ilavrata, which is situated in the middle of the whole of the lotus. Within Ilavrata Varsha is the Sumeru mountain, which is made of gold. Sumeru mountain is like the pericarp of the lotus-like Bhumandala planetary system. The mountain's length is the same as the width of the Jambudvipa, or in other words, of 1 lakh yojanas, which is 8 lakh miles, or that 16,000 yojanas, which is 1,28,000 miles. which are within the earth, and therefore the mountain's height above the earth is 84,000 yojanas, which is 6,72,000 miles. The mountain's width is 32,000 yojanas, which is 2,56,000 miles at its summit, and 16,000 yojanas at its base. All this, that is sounding all creepy. You know, I can't think of all these things. When I keep on thinking about so many yojanas and all, my yojana goes for a toss. Yojana means, you know, an idea, by the way. So you become no ideas only. You become completely blank. Okay, let me put it this way to you. When we are talking in terms of yojanas, when we are talking in terms of Jambu Dvipa, when we are talking in terms of, we are talking about land mass. The central land mass at the beginning of time was a single big island, as we call it. Why it was an island? Because seas were surrounding it. Okay, all these things. That is the reason why. It came up from the sea. Isn't that what we had done in our past again? Okay, the land came up. Water was formed. The land came up from the sea. That is the reason why it is mentioned like that. The central portion has what is called as a mountain called Jambu Dvipa. If I take the mountain, you know, we always look at everything, the length and the breadth and height and weight and everything is relative. Relative. Now when I say 1 kilogram, what does 1 kilogram stand for? Some person must have taken something as the standard, isn't it? You understand what I'm saying? Somebody has constructed a standard format. From that has come 1 kilogram. It has come from somebody's mind, isn't it? Same way, length. What is the length? The length, 1 centimeter, 1 kilometer, okay, whatever, 1 inch, pounds, centimeters square, this, that, time, seconds, minutes, all this has come relatively. So 24 hours has come in relative terminology. One entire circle of the earth is 24 hours. It goes around its axis, isn't it? So 24 hours. But I can divide it into 100 hours if I want to, if I have a different scale. I go by metric scale, let us say. Why should I have 60 minutes? Can I not have 10 minutes as 1 hour? If I have 10 minutes as 1 hour, 60. Okay, 60 into 60. 60 into 24. Right? That is 60 minute cycle into 24 hours. That, if you take it, how much does it come to? Do you know? So many minutes. It's 60 minutes in an hour. In 2 hours is 120. Correct? In 10 hours it is 600, isn't it? Right? 10 hours it is 600. 600 plus 600, 1200. Correct? Plus another 4. So if you go to see, if I divide, I can have 1 hour for 10 minutes also. But who is the one who has decided these factors? So I can have 144 hours in a day for all I care. Who cares? And that is the reason why somebody has come up with the standards. We call it standardization, isn't it? In the same way, somebody has come up with the standards of what is called as the length, the time, the space, everything. Everything is relative. How can you say, now suppose if I have named the planet, okay, the star, what we call as the moon of, what is that, Jupiter or Saturn, which is called Titan. I don't know what Titan is, somewhere it is. Now, if I have named it as Titan, people who are staying on Titan will say, oh no, we are calling it burger. You are not going to accept it, is it? Those people want to call their planet as burger. What is your problem? You are naming it something and they are naming it something else. That is their problem, isn't it? And your problem. So there are no standards there. The people, those who believe in science, Think about it like this. Those who believe in science have also taken liberties in this world. They have taken standardization, the techniques of standardization. So whether it is length, breadth, the value of pi, or whatever the hell that you are thinking in terms of sciences, it is all standardized. In the same way, what has happened in our spiritual text also, they have taken their own standards. They have taken yojanas and this and that. So do not try to compare their yojana with our yojanas. It's not going to match. Just imagine people from Titan will say ours is this is called burger. You have no right to call it by the name Titan. Okay, right or wrong? So, it's their problem and your problem. Sort it out. This is the reason why we cannot standardize as per. We are trying to use our ego in trying to do that. So that is the reason why I said, there is a mountain called Meru. How big is the mountain? They have given some lengths and breadths and yojanas and all that. Don't go by the calculations that are there. 1,28,000 miles. Nobody is going to break their head. Their 1,28,000 miles is like my 1440 minute divided by 10. I want to have 1 hour equal to 10 minutes. What is your problem? See, you are going to get into big trouble. I am going to have 3-hour session just now. My God, 3-hour session. This fellow is mad. What does he think of himself? Oh, my 3 hours is equal to 30 minutes only. So what are you going to do? See, we have a big problem in front of us. We don't even know. So the exact reason why we cannot equate our way of thinking with their way of thinking, whoever has written this. So don't go by that. Okay? So, just north of Ilavrata Varsha, during going further northwards, one after another, there are 3 mountains named Nila, Shweta and Shravangan. These marks that borders of the 3 Varshas named Ramyaka, Hiranyamay and Kuru and separate them from another with the width of the mountain as 2000 yojanas. Lengthwise they extend east and west to the beaches of the oceans of salt water. Salt water is there in both the sides, isn't it? If you take it from, if you go towards Bengal or you go towards Mumbai also, it's all salt water. Going south to north, the length of each mountain is 1/10 and that of the previous mountain, but the height of them all is the same. Similarly, south of Ilavrata Varsha and extending from east to west are 3 great mountains named Nishadda, Hemakuta and Himalaya. Each of them is 10,000 yojanas. They mark the boundary of the 3 Varshas named Hari Varsha, Kimpurusha Varsha and Bharat Varsha, that is India. In the same way, west and east of Ilavrata are 2 great mountains named Malayavan and Gandhamadana respectively. These 2 mountains, which are 2000 yojanas high, extend as far as the Nila mountains in the north and Nishada in the south. They indicate the borders of the Ilavrata Varsha and also the Varshas known as Ketumala and Bridavarsha. On the 4 sides of the great mountain known as Sumeru are 4 mountains, Mandara, Meru Mandara, Suparshva and the Kumuda, which are like its belt. The length and the height of these mountains are calculated to be 10,000 yojanas. Standing like flagstaff in the summit of these 4 mountains are mango trees, a kadamba tree, a banyan tree. These trees are calculated to have a width of 100 yojanas, 800 miles. Now you tell me, a tree is 800 miles? No, your 1 centimeter is equal to 1 mile for them. What to do? They were like ants, So what to do? So I went 100 miles today. बोला कितना 100 centimeters में गया था. For an ant, the ratio is different, isn't it? For you, the ratio is different. For an ant, the ratio is different. For a frog who stays in a well, his world is only the well. He doesn't know that there are places existing outside. So let us not get into this again. So, and the height is 1100 yojanas, which is 8,800 miles. The branches are spread in the radius of 1100 yojanas. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of Bharata dynasty, between these 4 mountains are 4 huge lakes. The water of the first tastes like milk, the second like honey, and that of the third like sugarcane juice. The 4th lake is filled with pure water. The celestial beings like Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas are also known as demigods, enjoy the facilities of these 4 lakes. Consequently, they have the natural perfection of the mystic yoga, such as the power to become smaller and the smallest or greater than the greatest. There are 4 celestial gardens named Nandana, Chitraratha, Vaibhajraka, and बाप रे बहुत बड़ा बड़ा नाम है Savota Bhadra. Of the lower slopes, no. The best of the demigods, along with their wives, who are like the ornaments of the heavenly beauty, meet together and enjoy within those gardens. And their glories are sung by lesser demigods known as Gandharvas. On the lower slope of Mandara mountain is a mango tree named Devachuta in the 1100 yojana high. Mangoes as big as mountain peaks and as sweet as nectar fall from the top of the tree for the enjoyment of the denizens of heaven. Imagine it falling on top of your head. Such a big mango. They will say mango. Gaya advi. So they say when all the solid fruits fall from such a height, they break, and the sweet fragrant juice within them flows out and becomes increasingly more fragrant as it mixes with the other scents. The juice is cascaded from the mountain in waterfalls and becomes a river called Arunodaya, which flows pleasantly through the eastern side of the Ilavrata. The pious wives of Yakshas act as personal maid servants to assist Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Because they drink the water of the river Arunoda, their bodies become fragrant, and as the air carries away the fragrance, it perfumes the entire atmosphere for 80 miles around. Similarly, the fruits of the jambu tree, which are full of pulp and have very small seeds, fall from the great height and break into pieces. These fruits are the size of elephants, and the juices gliding them become a river named Jambu Nadi. The river falls at a distance of 10,000 yojanas from the summit of Meru Mandara to the southern side of Ilavrata, and floods the entire land of Ilavrata with juice. The mud on both banks of the river Jambu Nadi. Is it too big or what? No, I think we will finish it. Okay. Right. The mud on both the banks of river Jambu Nadi being moistened by the flowing juices and then dried by the air and the sunshine produces huge quantities of gold called Jambunada. The denizens of the heaven use this gold for various kinds of ornaments. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and their youthful wives are fully decorated with golden helmets, bangles, and belts, and thus enjoy life. I can finish it, no? Another 7-8 verses. On the side of Supervarsha mountain stands a big tree called Mahakadamba, which is celebrated. From the hollows of the tree flow 5 rivers of honey, each with 5 yamas wide. These flowing honey falls incessantly on top of the Supervarsha mountain and flows around Ilavrata Varsha. Beginning from the western side, the whole land is saturated with pleasing fragrances. The air carries the scent from the mouth of those who drink the honey perfumes the land of the 100 yojanas around. Similarly, on Kumuda mountain, there is a great banyan tree which is called the Satavalsa because it has 100 main branches, and from the branches come many roots from which many rivers are flowing. The rivers flow down from the top of the mountain to the northern side of Ilavrata Varsha for the benefit of those who live there. Because of these flowing rivers, all the people have ample supplies of milk, yogurt, honey, clarified butter, molasses, food grains, clothing, bedding, sitting places, ornaments. All the objects that desire are sufficiently supplied for their prosperity, and therefore they are very happy. Anybody who is listening to this will think, which country, which land, which place, which earth, I don't even know. They'll think it is all fake. Don't worry, let me come to the end of it. The residents of the material world who enjoy the products of these flowing rivers have no wrinkles on their body and no grey hairs. They never feel fatigued, and the perspiration does not give them bodies a bad odor. No deodorants at that time. Huh? They are not afflicted by old age, disease, or untimely death. They do not suffer from chilly colds or scorching heat, nor their body lose the luster. They all live very happily without anxieties until death. There are other mountains beautifully arranged around the foot of the Mount Meru, like the filaments around the whole of the lotus flowers. Their names are Kuranga, Kurara, Kusumba, Vaikanta, Trikuta, Sisira, Patanga, Ruchka, Nishada, Srinivasa, Kapila, Shankha, Vaidurya, Jarudi, Hamsar, Shaba, Naga, Kalanjara, and Narada. On the eastern side of Sumeru are 2 mountains named Jathadhara and Devakuta, which extends in the north and the south of 18,000 yojanas. Similarly, on the western side are Sumeru and 2 mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra, which also extends north and south for the same distance. On the southern side of the Sumeru are 2 mountains named Kailasha and Karavira, which extends east and west of the 18,000 yojanas. And on the northern side of Sumeru, extending from the same distance east and west, are 2 mountains named Tisangna and Makara. The width and the height of these mountains is 2,000 yojanas. Sumeru, the mountain of solid gold shining as brilliantly as fire, is surrounded by these 8 mountains. In the middle of the summit of Sumeru is a township of Lord Brahma. Each of its 4 sides is calculated to extend for 10 million yojanas. It is made entirely of gold, and therefore learned scholars and sages call it Satakumbuki. Surrounding Brahmapuri in all directions are the residences of the 8 principal governors of the planetary systems, beginning with King Indra. These abodes are similar to Brahmapuri but are 1/4 the size. This ends the chapter, a description of Jambudvipa, that's 5th Canto, 16th chapter. I am stopping here, and then we will go to the next one next week. So, what is all these things that we heard? You are going to wonder which earth and which planet we came from. Nothing. Don't worry. This is not a fairy tale. It's about you only. All the rivers are in you. All the mountains are in you. The whole universe is in you. The sun is in you. The moon is in you. Everything. Jambudvipa is a big island. Body is a big island. See? Our body is a big island. In the center of the island is the Sumeru. It's called Meru, rather. Meru. North of it is Sumeru. Meru is the place which is called what we say as the solar plexus. The point. See, we have something which we call as the abs, Everybody goes for abs development. 6 packs. So 6 packs develop जिधर करते हो ना, वो जगह जो है, that place is called the Meru. It's the point where the body is balanced. The north and the south is balanced. That means that this portion of the body is balanced to that portion of the body is the central point from where the entire thing happens. Alright? This is what it is. Don't go to some Meru mountain. There is no Meru mountain outside. You will wonder what Meru you are talking about. No Meru over there. Even if you take India as a portion or United States as a portion, if you consider even that state, it will all have the same dimensions as this Jambudvipa. An entity, which is called a created entity, is always surrounded by water, is always there in the center. The center will have its axis where the balance happens. So everything is like that only. It has got 7 rivers, 7 lakes, 7 this, 7 that, 7. We have gone through all these things. We have looked at a tree, a peepal tree or something like that, which has got so many branches. I want you to think about your entire internals. Look at your entire internals. Just go to the diagram which says, show the nervous system. Show your arteries, arterial and the venous system. You know how it looks like, isn't it? Rivers and rivers and rivers and lakes, and there are certain places where the formation is there, certain places where there is. If you go to the skeleton, we have a skeleton. So in the skeleton also there are certain points where there are connections, where there are heights, where there are lows, there are depths, there are everything is not, it's not one and the same, isn't it? If you go to a certain location, let us say even your mouth, inside the mouth, you will find that there are things which are like the tongue is there, the tongue has its own way of creating juices, isn't it? So you will find that that also is a place where things happen, the creation happens. Rivers are flowing, mountains are there, the peaks are there. You see macroscopically your entire body, or you say in a macro location like say a United States. The United States is not plain flat land, isn't it? It has got rivers, valleys, peaks, mountains, this, that, so many things. So everything is like a Jambudvipa only. So this description is not some vague description from some place. Sukadeva Goswami is talking about representation of every land, for that matter, every human being, every creation has all these entities inside of them in the form of a representation. Alright, so I shall end over here and we can stop this.